He was diagnosed on September 27th of 2000.
My quad like this.
2005, and he was getting really sick, and I had taken him to the doctors once or twice before, and they told me it was probably just the flu.
We had took Bella to the doctors 4 or 5 times, and they couldn't figure out what was the matter with her. They thought she had a virus, and she was drinking huge bottles of water.
So I thought maybe she has a bladder infection, so we took her to the pediatrician, and they did a urine sample, and they said, no, it looks like it might be diabetes.
John, I got a call for you. I said, I can't take the call. She goes, John, you need to take the call. And very uncharacteristic of my secretary. I mean, usually she didn't interrupt me. So I walked out, and the pediatrician says, John, it's Dr. Scheibe. You need to come pick up your daughter and your wife. They need to go to Children's Hospital. I said, what do you mean, what happened? He says, we think Caitlin might be a diabetic. I've already made the appointment. They're waiting for you, but I don't want Kelly to drive because she gets really nervous.
So they told me that I had to either take him directly to the hospital, or they were going to have to take him by ambulance, because he was really close to being in a coma.
First time I gave her a shot, it about killed me. I mean, it really hurt.
Your life in some ways revolve around diabetes, because you get up every morning, you have to do a finger prick check, and then there's the shot, and then there's the breakfast and counting the carbs. What are you going to eat for breakfast? How many carbs does it have?
Isabella, as far as her blood sugar testing goes, it's anywhere from 8 to 10 times a day. She checks her blood, and it goes from the thumb counterclockwise, and then we switch hands. And she's used to it. She's 4 years old now, and she pretty much does it on her own now. And that's pretty impressive when people come over to visit and they see her on the table checking her own sugar. She's grown up pretty fast.
When she was first diagnosed, she was on a regimented schedule. She had to eat between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. She had a test for snack between 9:30 and 10. She had to eat lunch between 11:30 and 12. Had a test between 2:30 and 3 for afternoon. Had to eat dinner between 5 and 6, and had to go to bed or a test for bed between 8 and 8:30. Had a test again at midnight and test again at 3 o'clock in the morning. Since then, she's been on the pump, which makes it a lot easier. There's still many complications. There's still many problems. Diabetes they live on insulin. I mean, that's their lifeblood.
And we don't have Pop-Tarts for breakfast anymore. We have to make a balanced meal. I had to throw away pretty much everything because we ate terribly.
But when I get high and I'm hungry, I kind of throw a fit, because when you get high, your symptoms are to get agitated, have a headache, and dizziness. And I take to the agitated part really well. But I'm trying to tone that down a little bit.
She has brothers and sisters, so when they want donuts or cookies and stuff, they don't always get, so it's hard on them. It's hard on her brothers. We shy away from birthday parties. As far as we usually leave before they cut the cake, because Isabella loves birthday cake.
He likes to tell people he's not diabetic, so that they can, if we go to birthday parties, he can have cake and ice cream like everybody else.
And we do give her insulin. We wake in the night to test her, and you never sleep through the night again. If you have a diabetic child, when we went home with her from the hospital, they told us it's like taking an infant home, but this time you're going home with instructions.
We wake up every night at 2 in the morning to check her sugar, because for them, especially kids, that's a critical point, because they're asleep and they can't tell you that they're feeling sick, and you can't see it in them that they're feeling sick. So it worries you. You lose sleep over it, and it's like the alarm clock goes off at 2 o'clock every day, and it will go off for 2 o'clock every day for the rest of her life.
I don't sleep hardly at all, because I'm worried that he will drop in the middle of the night and I won't be able to save him, because it gets pretty bad sometimes. So me and my husband take shifts. He checks him sometimes and I check him sometimes, and between the two of us, nobody sleeps if the dogs bark and wake us up, we get up and we check. We don't, if I leave the house to go to the grocery store, even if I've forgotten his test kit, I have to turn around and go back and get it. And we only live 2 minutes away from the grocery store.
But meeting all the other parents and seeing what they go through, we realize it's just not us.
And it was Sean's idea. Yeah. Right after she was diagnosed, every year some neighbors have a in-home bazaar, and he said, let's do that, Mom. So we said, okay, we'll have a craft fair, and we decided we'd donate all the money to JDRF in hope of finding a cure. And you know, one thing we've learned as we've been through this in the past year is that how far research has come and how close they really are to finding a cure.
For example, I had a lady who fed her daughter for the last year salad. That's all she ate because she didn't think she could eat anything else. And, you know, it was tough, you know, her not understanding her doctor who only spoke English, you know, and someone that tried to translate it, you know, and she just didn't comprehend.
JDRF actually introduced me to other people with kids his age that have diabetes. So we get to brag about pumps and, you know, everybody's checking their kids' fingers. So Ryan feels normal in a place that, you know, everybody else isn't normal like him.
Becoming involved with the walk, and the one thing we've learned is how many people love us, how many people support us, and how many people care for us. And I think that's makes you feel good and helps you to get through the day, is when you see how many people really care about you.
He doesn't want to be diabetic, so he can have cookies.
Help us find a cure for diabetes.
So the money that we raise from these fundraisers that goes directly to research actually does help these kids, whether it's finding a cure or making their lives a little bit easier. So if you can just please, you know, find it in your heart to, you know, to give a little, because anything counts, and you know, every penny is working for JDRF.
One day, hopefully, we find a cure for him, and then he can do normal stuff like get married and have kids and things I want to see him do.
Diabetes is a pain. More than 2.5 million kids and adults have it. We don't like having it. We need to find a cure. Please help us.
Can you help me find a cure?